Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to solve two Codeforces problems. One is cell and other is lucky string. So before we start looking into these both problems, I want to mention that my channel is dedicated to help people who are preparing for any Java interviews and coding interviews. On my channel, there are over 200 solved coding examples which were taken from previously asked questions by big tech companies such as Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Yahoo, Google, Microsoft, and many others. And those are selected problems to cover important coding questions varieties such as dynamic programming, graph problems, binary search tree related interview questions, binary search related coding questions, as well as BFS, DFS matrix problems. So if you are preparing for any Java interviews or coding interviews or simply learning Java concepts and programming, please subscribe to my channel now. This channel can definitely help you in your Java J2E interview preparation. So please subscribe it. So let's look at the first problem on Codeforces, and problem calls as cells. Once Bob got to uh, go to a sale of old TV sets. There were n TV sets at that sale. TV set with index I cost AI bellars. Some TV sets have a negative price. Their owners are ready to pay Bob if he buys their useless apparatus. Bob can buy any TV set he wants. Though he is very strong, Bob can carry at most M TV sets, and he has no desire to go to the sale back second time. So please help Bob find out maximum sum of money that he can earn from the sale, right? So there are two types of TVs. One is positive priced and one is negative price. So the negative priced TVs are some TVs that if he gets them, like he will get it the same amount of money that the price is in negative, right? Because the owners, they just want to get rid of those old TVs, it looks like. So let's see, the input is the first line contains two space separated integers n and m. N is amount of TV sets at the sale and m is the amount of TVs Bob can carry. So in the first example there are 5 TV sets and Bob can carry 3. So as you can see, these are the prices, 5 prices for the 5 TV sets, right? So output only one number, the maximum sum of money that Bob can earn, given that he can carry at most m TV sets. So if you look at this example, the first example, Bob can carry 3 TV sets, right? So the answer for this question is 8. So if we want to like solve this problem, then what Bob can do is Bob can try to get the TV sets which are free, right? So he can buy the TV set, means he can get the TV set with -6 and -2 price. So total price, the owner will pay him this price basically. So if it is -2 means he will get 2 beller, and if it is -6 then he will get 6 beller, right? So total 8 beller he will get basically. So that is the maximum money he can earn by going to that sale. Basically he doesn't have to spend it because he is getting this negative priced very old TVs, so he will earn that much money, actually 8 bellers, right? So in the second example he can carry maximum 2 TVs he can carry. So he can buy this negative TV set, right, in this case. So he will get 7 beller back basically. So he will get 7 bellers. That's why 7 beller is the answer here, because this is maximum number, right? So he doesn't have to buy 2, he can buy less than that also, right? So yeah, so um, let's just go on the whiteboard and let's just look into this first example. So we will discuss how we can solve this problem. So this is the input that is given to us. So what we will do to solve this problem is we are interested to find out the negative values, right? Negative TV values, right? Or negative TV prices, basically you can say prices here. So because that much money Bob can earn back, right? So what we will do is we will just first sort this array, right? So we will sort this array. So after sorting, the array will look like this, right? -6, -2, 0, 4 and 35, right? And after sorting is done, this is the array after sorting. After sorting it is done, we will go through each of these elements until we find negative values. So, and we will keep adding them. So this is negative, we will add it into our, let's say sum is 0. So we will add this negative value, which is -6. Now we go forward in this. Now the value is again -2. So again we will add that. So now sum becomes -8. Now it becomes 0. So when it is not negative, we will stop there basically, because we don't want to purchase the positive price TVs, right? Otherwise he has to pay from his pocket. If he gets the TVs which is negative price, he will earn that money basically, right? So we want to calculate how much maximum money Bob can earn by going to the sale. So we are only interested in negative values. So we will stop here, and our s is -8, so we will just multiply this by -1 at the end and return our answer basically. So as our answer will be 8 here, right? So if you look at this, so answer is 8. So this is the logic to solve this problem. So let's just look at the implementation. Is very simple. So this is the input that is given to us, n, m and array of prices. So first thing, we are sorting the array, right? So after sorting, we just created one variable sum, it is 0, and we will increment the sum from this sorted array as long as the value is less than 0, and m should also be greater than 0, right? Because his maximum capacity is 3, so he cannot get more than 3. So we will have to check both these conditions, and if both is true, we will keep incrementing our sum by that negative value, and we will keep decrementing the availability, right? Means how much he can carry. So he can carry 3 TVs in the beginning. So whenever he is carrying 1 TV, we will decrement that amount by 1 basically, right? Here if we are hitting some value, for example in this case when we are hitting this value 0, then we know that we don't want to go forward from this value, right? Because these are positive values. So we, in that case, we just are going to break it from the for loop, and we will just print -1 into sum as our answer, right? So let's just quickly execute this code and make sure it works. So we are getting correct answer here, 8. So now he can carry 3 TVs. In this case we only took 2 TVs, right? -2 and -6, because other values are positive. So if we, let's say, add one more value here, let's say -8, right? And we increment the number of entries here to 6, right? Then in this case he can carry 3 TVs, right? Because there are 3 negative values, and the total will be 16 basically that he can earn. So let's just execute. So we are getting correct answer here, 16. And we can try with the last example here, this 42 and 700 minus 7. So this is 4 2, and then we'll just update this 700 minus 7, right? So let's just format this quickly, and we'll just execute this. So now it should give us 7, right? 7. So we are getting correct answer, as you can see it here. So this is the way you can solve the problem cell on the Codeforces. So it's a very easy problem. So but it's good for like junior Java developer positions or initial screening rounds, right? These kind of questions can be asked. So I just thought I'll include that in this video. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at another problem now. The problem is called as lucky string. So let me just do the lucky string here now. So let's first go through the problem description, and we will understand the how we are going to solve this problem. So Peter loves lucky numbers. We all know that lucky numbers are the positive integers whose decimal representations contain only the lucky digits 4 and 7. For example, 47, 7444 are lucky, and 5, 17, 467 are not. Peter recently learned to determine whether a string of lowercase Latin letters is lucky. For each individual letter, all its positions in the string are written out in increasing order This results in 26 lists of numbers. Some of them can be empty. A string is considered lucky if and only if each list, the absolute difference in any two adjacent numbers, is a lucky number. So they have given us one example here. So let me just go to the whiteboard and I can show you what the lucky string there means basically, right? So if we have been given, let's say, one string, right? Let me just increase this one a little bit. So let's say we have been given one string A, B, C, D, and again AB, right? So if we calculate the here the position, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, then 4, and then 5, right? So whenever if we calculate the difference between any of these characters, let's say this A and this A, right? This A and this A. So this A and this A is, if there are multiple characters, the difference will be 4, right? This is 4 difference. They are 4 characters apart, right? Similarly, if we calculate the difference between this B, right, this B and this B basically, right, this B, so again they are 4 characters apart, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So 4 characters apart. So as you can see, they are saying that in this case, multiple characters case, means every number should be 4 characters apart. If they are there are multiple numbers, multiple characters here, they should be 4 or 7, basically 4 or 7 characters apart from each other, then that is a lucky string, right? So they have given us one example. So the string is lucky as all the differences are lucky numbers. For example, so they have given us, for example, they said that the character Z appears at 5 and 1 position. So this is 1, right? This is 1, and this is 5, right? This Z is 5. So this Z is 5. So if you subtract, the difference is, absolute difference is always 4, right? Then C is again 7. C appears one position at 10 and one is at 7 position. So one here, C is 10 position and this is 3, so 7. So always the difference, if there are multiple characters present, should be 4 or 7 basically. Then it is a lucky string. For other characters where there is only one character, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter for those characters. So note that if some letters occurs only once in a string, it doesn't influence the string luckiness basically, as you can see. After building the list of positions of equal letters, the string where all the letters are distinct is considered lucky. So find lexicographically minimal lucky string whose length equals n. So this is what we have to find out. So they will give us one n. For example, here they give us n as 5 and we have to find out lexicographically minimal, right? So let's go back to the whiteboard again. So when we have been given 5, right, let's say, so I'll just remove this one that we just added, so we can reuse the whiteboard. So for example, in this case we have been given 5 as the, so we have to find out lucky string with lexicographically short minimum, right? That has length 5. So what we can do is, since it is lexicographically smallest, we can start with A, right? So we will just use A, then B, then C, right, then D. And since we want to keep the difference 4, right, whenever there is 4 difference, then we can get the lucky string, right? So after D, if we append again A here, then A and A, this difference is 4, right? Basically this is 4 difference, so it becomes lucky string. This B, C, D characters appear only once, so it doesn't matter. But if the character is appearing multiple times, then the difference should be 4. For example, if it is 6 now, let's say if it is, for instead of 5 it is 6, then we will just append B here, right? Now the difference between this B and this B is again 4, right? This is again 4. So we will just use this logic basically to form a lexicographically shortest lucky string, right? And this will make sure that always we will get difference of 4. For example, if it is 8, right, then we will get, like I just shown you here, this will be the lexicographically shortest string. So as you can see, every character has 4 difference. So difference between this A and A is 4, difference between this B and B is 4, difference between C and C is also 4, difference between D and D is also 4, right? So this is the logic we are going to follow to get the lucky string of the length that is given to us, right? 8. So let's look at the implementation. It's straightforward problem. So we'll just take the n and we will just create one character array, and we will take 4 characters A, B, C, D, right? We will take four characters, and why we are only taking 4 characters, because we want each the characters, if in case of multiple characters, they should be 4 apart, because 4 is the lucky digit, right? We can also get 7, but now in this implementation we are just getting 4 here, right? Because both are fine, you can take 4 or 7, but we are taking 4 here. um, so after that we will just iterate through the um, 0 to the length, and then we will create the, as I mentioned you, this logic, like this logic we will just create append A B C D. If it is more, again we will create append, like we will append A B C D like this basically, right? So this is the same logic we are doing here. So as you can see, minimum between n and 4, so 16 and 4 is 4, right? Minimum, so 4, and it will go, like for example it will go uh, j is less than n, right? N is equal to 16, so it will go, and j is equal to j plus 4, always it will increase by 4 basically, right? So so it will, in case of 16 it will print like this. If it is just 4 or if it is 5, then it will just get minimum of 4 and 5, so it is 4 4, right? So it will 4, and it will just go from I. So as you can see here, if it is n is equal to 5, then we are getting this as the result. So we can try for 6 here. So let's just try for the 5. So we are getting here A B C D A, and here also we are getting the same string, right, for the length 5, A B C D A. So this solution is working fine. So if we just give 3, then we will just get distinct 3 letters, right? So let's just try that. So as we can see, we are just getting 3 distinct letters. So so I is basically 0 to minimum between n and 4, right? And then j will go from I to j is less than n. We will just keep incrementing j by 4 basically, because the gap will be 4, right, between the answer. So so basically we, for example, if it is 5, I'll just write down here to show you. So we will just basically first append a b c d, and then again append a basically, right? So that's what this for loop does basically, if you calculate this, and it will put those things into the answer array at j position. It will put at the j position, right? And then we will just convert the answer array into the result string, and we will just output that string here. So that's pretty straightforward. So let's just try one other example of, let's say, 11 we are trying. So it is ABCD and then ABC, right? So which is correct. So this is the way we can solve lucky string problem on Codeforces. So we have already seen couple of examples here with the implementation. So implementation is just straightforward only. I'll put this solution on my GitHub account and give you a link in the description. If you are new to my channel and if you did not check the playlist, there is a playlist called as Codeforces that has a couple of solved Codeforces problem. So if you are Java junior Java developer or mid-level, then those are good interview questions to take a look. Also, there is a big playlist called as Lead Code and Lean Code Solutions. Those are like coding interview questions which are previously asked by Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Yahoo, and many other big companies. And those are selective problems to constitute important varieties such as dynamic programming, binary search tree, binary search related coding questions, as well as DFS, BFS matrix questions, coding interview questions related to linked list, as well as string related different coding questions are also covered there. If you are simply learning like looking for telephonic Java interview questions, there is another playlist called as Java interview that discusses frequently asked Java telephonic interview questions. You can take a look there. Those are important questions and frequently asked in most of the telephonic Java interviews. If you like this video, if you find it helpful how it's been explained with examples and Java code, please like this video and subscribe it. Your subscription is really important for the channel because that is the way the video can reach to more people who are preparing for Java interviews or coding interviews. The goal of the channel is to help as many people as possible in their Java interviews and coding interviews and learning Java. So if you find this helpful, please subscribe to the channel. That is the way the videos can reach to more people. They can also watch these solved coding problems and understand how to approach different varieties of problems in Java and what data structures in Java to use to solve different varieties of problems. If you like this video, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks for watching the video.